Hey everyone, Hallie here. In today's video, I'm super excited to be going over 3 characters that have been leaked for Marvel Rivals that we are basically going to be guaranteed to see coming in the future. I don't want to waste any of your guys' time, so let's just get right into it. Now, the very first character I'm going to be covering is likely one that you guys have also seen that has been leaked, and that character is Ultron. We know this character is going to be coming out because not only have we seen endgame screenshots of this character, but we have literally seen Hot Topic merch of this character come out. So we are essentially guaranteed to see Ultron. So let's go ahead and cover some of the abilities and what he's going to look like inside of Marvel Rivals. Interestingly enough, it looks like Ultron is going to be a strategist character. So he is going to be healing the team, which is pretty fascinating. Ultron's passive ability will allow him to float in the air and kind of just glide down. He doesn't have a upward mobility for his passive. It's more so just like a glide down. However, that's pretty neat. Think like Pharah from Overwatch. His main attack is going to be a ray that it's like an energy beam that you are going to shoot out. Given that it says it's an energy beam, I would assume this is like a continuous attack that you are, just going to be constantly shooting out. Think like Jeff's healing beam. It is possible it could be like a blast. However, I get the impression that's just going to be a burst of, or like a beam of energy that we are going to be shooting as Ultron, which seems pretty interesting. Ultron is going to have a right click, or if you're playing on controller, a left click ability that allows him to summon multiple drones to grant bonus health to allies within range, centered on himself and the ally, marked with Imperative Patch. So I think what this ability is saying is essentially he's going to be able to summon drones that give your allies and your teammates additional health. I'm not sure if this heals them or if this just boosts their health. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure if this character is a Vanguard character because, it giving your allies bonus health kind of seems like a Vanguard ability. However, a lot of his abilities are more so like strategist focused. So I get the impression he's going to be a strategist. So yeah, he's going to have a right click ability of essentially just healing his teammates. And summoning drones that give them bonus health. I'm curious if these drones will attack the enemies or anything, so we'll have to see, but that's pretty interesting that his right click is going to be able to summon drones. The next ability that Ultron has is a E ability where he commands a giant drone to follow an ally, so essentially you're sending a bigger one of your right clicks onto an ally, and this drone will constantly heal allies in its radius, and it gives additional healing to whoever you sent the specific drone onto. This sounds incredibly powerful, and it sounds like the healing is going to be great for whoever you specifically send it on. In the previous ability we talked about, where you send out a drone, since this ability, this E ability to summon the big drone is called the Imperative Patch, I'm assuming that the Imperative Firewall, which is your right-click ability, it says it goes on the ally that you target. It says centered on himself and the ally marked with Imperative Patch. So I'm curious if whenever you activate Imperative Patch, if you then activate your right click, if it will summon 2 drones. That'll be interesting, but pretty cool. He's going to have a ability to just give a solid amount of AoE healing. I expect this ability to be quite strong, and I'm interested of what the cooldown will be for this ability. Ultron then has a left shift ability, or if you're playing on console, I think that's going to be like the left bumper. I'm not too sure, but it's called Dynamic Flight. Of this, like Iron Man's flying ability, what it says here is that fly quickly in the direction of movement and then enter free flight mode. So it sounds like this will give you like a boost in some sort of direction. I'm really thinking of Iron Man's flight ability. So that's pretty cool, and it centers well with his passive, which allows him to float down. And now we get to the grand finale, the Ultron Ultimate, and this ultimate is called Rage of Ultron. The description says summon Ultron drones to fire encephalo arrays, essentially your main attack, damaging enemies or healing allies. So essentially with this ultimate, you're just going to be summoning a bunch of drones that are going to be attacking all the enemies and then healing your teammates. This sounds incredibly powerful. And it sounds like a really cool ultimate. I'm so happy they're going with the whole Ultron drone thing, because that's a huge part of Ultron. I'm so excited for the game to look like the that scene in like Marvel Age of Ultron where like all the Avengers are fighting the Ultron bots. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for Ultron to come out. He seems like such a cool character. And let me know what you guys think of him down in the comments below. This character seems super cool. However, we still have 2 more characters to cover. So I am so excited. The next character that we have in Marvel Rivals that will be coming out is Human Torch. Now, I believe Human Torch is going to be a duelist, and it says he also has a difficulty of 3. And the very first thing I'm going to cover with Human Torch is his team-up ability with Storm. It states here that Human Torch's team-up ability is called Omega Fire, and Storm can consume one of Human Torch's fire tornadoes into her ultimate to ignite her hurricane. Likewise, Human Torch can turn Storm's hurricane into a fiery hurricane with his ultimate, which will then enlarge and intensify any of his fire tornadoes caught in its path. So essentially, you will be able to combo with Storm, and when she uses her ultimate, you can shoot your abilities into her hurricane, and it makes a fire hurricane, and then you have fire tornadoes. This sounds like a crazy team-up ability, and I love that they're sticking with the Human Torch theme, the fire. So that sounds like a really cool team-up ability, but let's talk about some of his main abilities and his primary fire. Let's go ahead and start with that. His primary attack is called Fire Cluster, and the description for this attack says, launch forward a splittable fireball. So this sounds like it's going to be a projectile that you'll be able to possibly split in the middle of the air. I wonder if you'll be able to contain it, maybe for like a bigger explosion or something. But yeah, this sounds pretty neat. Just you throw a fireball. Next up, I'm going to talk about Human Torch's right click, or his left trigger if you are on console like me. This ability is called Blazing Blast, and it says launch a fireball to create a flame field at the targeted area. Now, I'm not sure what a flame field is. However, if I were to guess, this ability is called Blazing Blast. I'm gonna guess this is just a bigger fireball. Just a bigger one of your main attacks where it creates like an area of attack. Like, think of like a Molotov, where you throw it and then it leaves behind like fire. I think that's what this attack is, and it sounds, pretty solid for a right click. Now we are going to cover his next ability called Flaming Meteor. This is his F attack. The description for this ability says, dive towards the ground and stun nearby enemies. Now, I'm not sure if Human Torch is going to be able to fly. I feel like he would be able to. Maybe he like jumps up in the air and dives towards the ground, because none of his abilities mention the fact that like if he is able to fly or not. So who knows? I mean, the Human Torch can technically fly, like he can summon fire beneath himself, so maybe that's what this ability does, like you blast up in the air and then you dive towards the ground. We'll have to see. I'm not too certain. Do you guys think he'll be able to fly? Let me know. But yeah, you dive towards the ground and stun nearby enemies. This sounds really powerful. Any ability that can stun enemies, think Mantis's like Sleep Blast. Think of, you know what I mean. Think of stuns. They are very powerful, and especially on a duelist, which I assume that Human Torch is. So yeah, pretty solid to see a stun attack. This next ability is his E ability, and it ties into his right click. This ability is called Pyro Prison, and it states connect flame fields to form a firewall that deals burning damage to enemies. So essentially, you'll be able to connect. I'm assuming if you place down 2 of your flame fields using your Blazing Blast right click, you can create a wall, and enemies who walk through it will take damage. This sounds super powerful. I'm curious if it will create like a smoke screen. Or like if it will, disrupt the enemy vision. That would be really powerful, and I think it would be the first kind of like smoke character. I feel like a character with smokes is an interesting add. to a game like this. But let me know what you guys think of that. Do you think it'll be like a smoke, or do you think it'll just do damage? I could definitely just see it, doing damage. But this sounds pretty cool. Pyro Prison is a really cool name. I'm curious if we will be able to like trap enemies within, the flame fields and do additional damage. Pretty interesting. Next up is his left shift ability. This is going to be, just his movement ability. This ability is called Plasma Body, and the description states, hold left shift to enter a state of accelerated ascent. This is a really interesting just phrasing of it, accelerated ascent. I'm curious if that just means he can go faster, or if he like goes up into the air. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But I mean, that's his movement ability. I'm assuming he's going to be able to move around quite quickly, as that if you're a duelist, you either have a solid amount of health, or you can move around quickly, like think like Spider-Man. So kind of interesting. I'm really not too sure what that left shift ability means, but do keep in mind, that's usually the movement ability. And now we have the ultimate for the Human Torch, and it is called Supernova. The description for this ability states, unleash shockwaves to deal damage to enemies within range. During skill activation, the flame field will transform into a fire tornado. So with this, you're essentially just going to like be blowing up flames near yourself, and also your right click ability, your flame fields, will also just turn into fire tornadoes, which is interesting. I wonder if they'll just move randomly, or if they'll like target onto enemies. But it does sound pretty cool. So yeah, his ability is called Supernova. I imagine, maybe this one-shots them. It does say unleash shockwave, so I wonder if this is just going to be like a pulse that does, significant damage. We'll have to see. So yeah, that's Human Torch. He sounds really fun to play. And I'm curious if he will be able to fly. So yeah. And the very last character that I have for you guys is, oh my gosh, I'm super excited. And you will see a theme with the last character, and it is Mr. Fantastic. This is the stretchy man himself. It is really cool to see Mr. Fantastic. I believe that Mr. Fantastic is going to be a Vanguard character. I could be wrong, but, just based on his abilities and stuff, I think he is going to be a Vanguard character, which I'm so happy to see because I think that is my favorite class of characters. So pretty cool. Let's go ahead and cover his, his main attack, and it is called Elastic Punch. Stretch out a forward punch to attack enemies. This sounds very similar to Groot's main attack, where he also stretches out to punch enemies. And I hope, just like Groot, it will be good. So yeah, pretty cool. It sounds, just like it sounds like a pretty solid, but also kind of generic Vanguard main attack. So, to be expected. I also just want to say, this man is rocking a bowl cut.
Look at this dude.
That is fascinating. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Let's go ahead and cover his passive ability, and it is called Elastic Strength. Skills generate elasticity, which is like gonna be a new stat added to specifically Mr. Fantastic. Boosting attack power. Reaching full elasticity triggers an inflated state that Pyrocynical will love that restores health and boosts even more damage. So this is pretty cool. Essentially activating your skills and just using your abilities will allow you to slowly build up elasticity, and once you fill up your elasticity, you just become stronger. So yeah, that's really cool. It sounds like, he is going to be very ability focused. You are going to just essentially, it sounds like you will just want to spam his abilities. So, I mean, that makes sense. That's what you do. His right click is called Rubber Grip, and the description states, extend arms forward to entangle hit enemies. So it says entangle hit enemies. I'm assuming that means like I don't know if you like root them or something, but I don't know what entangle hit means. So I don't know. Then it says press left click to select and yank 2 more enemies. So I don't know. This ability is kind of confusing. I'm not sure what a entangle hit is. And then it says you can yank 2 more enemies. Does that mean you're going to be pulling them towards you? Like, are you going to yank them towards you, or are you yanking them towards the enemies you entangled? I'm really not too sure. Let me know what you guys think rubber grip is. Maybe I'm just stupid, but I don't really get that one. The next ability here is called flexible elongation. This is going to be his E ability. It says select a target and dash at it, dealing damage to enemies and granting bonus health to allies. So this is really cool. This sounds like just going to be like a movement ability, where he is going to pick a point. Like I'm thinking like Penny Parker. However, as opposed where Penny Parker leaves behind like a web, Mr. Fantastic is going to heal allies like while he is dashing, as well as dealing damage, which it just sounds good. This next ability is his left shift ability. It is called Reflective Rubber, and it says stretch body to absorb damage before launching stored damage in the targeted direction. This is incredibly cool, and it reminds me this is a direct copy and paste of what Titanfall was, where the Titans could bring up like a shield to block, like rockets and gunfire and stuff, and then that you can hold it for 5 seconds, and then you fire all of the projectiles were fired at you back at the enemy. This sounds incredibly powerful. And I'm curious if it will also reflect ultimates. Will we be able to reflect Iron Man's blast back at himself? That would be really cool. Or Thor's, or not Thor, but Magneto's his ultimate. Will we be able to do that? That'd be really cool. Or will it just be pure damage? Who knows? But again, this just sounds like a Vanguard ability. It sounds like a great way to cover yourself and protect yourself. And the ultimate ability for Mr. Fantastic is called Brainiac Bounce. Leap and smash, knocking back enemies within range. Upon hitting an enemy, leap again, up to 6 times. So the icon for this ability seems to be 2 big fists. So I'm assuming that what Mr. Fantastic is going to be able to do is slam his fists down, or maybe he bounces down on the ground and then goes up in the air, and then is able to bounce down and then leap up into the air again, and up to 6 times. So I'm thinking this is very similar to the Winter Soldier's ultimate, where if you get a kill, you can do again. So yeah, this sounds pretty powerful, and it's important to note that it just says upon hitting an enemy, you can do this again. So you don't even have to get a kill. So this just sounds really powerful, and just sounds like a good area of effectability to use, maybe on the payload. Maybe if you're attacking, this sounds super powerful. You can use Reflective Rubber, soak up all the damage from the enemy, fire it back at them, and then you use your ultimate to just hit them a bunch of times and get them off the payload. Sounds super powerful. I'm really excited to see how he works out in Marvel Rivals. So that's going to be it for today's video. 3 leaked characters from Marvel Rivals. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you excited to see these characters? I'm curious what, of your guys' interpretation on some of the abilities as well. Let me know what you guys think. If you found this video helpful or informative at all, if you found it funny, be sure to leave a like. It really does help me out. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.